Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John, here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello. City away at Fratton Park to Jose Mourinho's Portsmouth. Come away defeated 1-0.
Yes.
Live on Sky Sports.
Jose Mourinho.
You wasn't it him?
Not exactly.
João Moutinho.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, good.
Yeah.
I've forgotten his name now. John Mousinho, wasn't it?
That's right.
Right,
Yeah. Is
okay,
it John?
John?
Yeah, just an English bloke, isn't it? But
Yeah. With an exotic surname.
yeah. 1-0.
1-0. What are the headlines?
I'm not sure there particularly are any headlines, are there?
3 points to Portsmouth, no points to us. That's a headline. Conceded our first goal in the league. That's a headline.
Yeah, that's about it.
A bit outclassed, but not embarrassed.
I'm not sure we're outclassed, were we?
No, maybe not. Maybe the first half, you're like, and then you realise Colwell had to mix it up a bit and look better second half, didn't it?
It definitely did look better second half. That we started off, yeah, he tweaked a few things, didn't he, at half time that weren't quite working.
Well, Nombe
Such
didn't
as-
start.
Yeah, Scott started and basically almost playing the kind of Bowman flagpole role. It's just something to bounce things off. Not particularly effectively, but it's not his fault, and he works hard. And we couldn't get hold of it and do our keeping the ball thing.
No.
In the first half, the first 5 minutes or so we did, and then they just kind of stopped that.
Stop that, they said. And we did.
Yeah, not a huge amount of chances. First half.
No.
No,
Neither end, was it? Aitchison had one that went wildly wide.
Yeah. Yeah, good watching it on Sky, and it wasn't actually in a way.
Well, nice to put it on the
Get
telly.
used to it, couldn't you? Do you mean like the proper coverage?
Yeah.
Um,
It definitely affects away attendance, doesn't it?
yeah,
I mean, it really does.
yeah, proper camera angles.
Yeah. Bit of statistics on the screen.
Yeah, pre-match, half-time chat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who those. I didn't really. There's sort of ex-EFL players where they sort of recognise one of them, but
Don't know.
don't know.
Surprised Joby McAnuff didn't get the
I know.
call. He's
Well,
regular.
I mean,
Sam Parkin, the other one.
yeah, maybe they'll be doing other ones.
Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, Morrison's a bit more.
Yeah, bigger
bit
fish to
further
fry.
up now than
Yeah,
him,
he
and
is,
like
yeah.
a random League One game on a Tuesday night.
Didn't he play for Portsmouth as well? No, maybe he didn't.
They did. Portsmouth were on a 13-game unbeaten run,
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
which I hadn't realised.
No.
They're very good at home, aren't they?
Mm.
I think they'll probably do quite well in League One this season, given that they're one of the. There's less massive clubs, than there was last year, and they look solid, don't they? And they've got some good players. What they've got is kept hold of quite a lot of their squad from last season and added to it.
Yeah.
With just little signings here and there. Jack Sparks being one of them, obviously, came on. And they've got that lad who played quite well on loan from Man City,
Yeah,
Robertson, whose name was on all wonky on his shirt, which I thought was a bit embarrassing.
What was it?
Bit tin pot. Yeah.
I reckon it must be really hard to line those things up. They must have a template, mustn't
No,
they?
definitely isn't hard at all.
You think?
Yeah, no, I reckon it's a piece of piss.
I'm just imagining me
All you've
doing
got to
it and
do
going wrong.
is put the transfers on the shirt and put the thing down. That's it. Pull the little lever.
Oh, the waffle iron.
Pull the waffle iron down
Oh,
and
yeah.
leave it on and take it off. That's it.
You don't want to over waffle.
Like you've done it too quickly, and you go, oh no! You have to really cock it up to get it wrong. I
Do you
think.
think like the man or woman doing the shirts like, I could redo it, but that's coming out my pay packet?
Yeah, I think every mistake, comes straight out their bunts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Portsmouth slave labour, I imagine as well.
Yeah. Yeah, probably so, knowing them lot. Anyway, second half, we looked much more in the game, didn't we? Shifted it around a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we started to impose ourselves a bit. I think he dropped a couple of the midfielders were a little bit deeper, so he could get the ball off the centre backs. I think what we had a bit of, I think, considering, especially we defended really well and last ditch a bit during the first half, especially but you've got Aimson in the middle, You got Sweeney on the right and Hartridge on the left. Hartridge, out of the three of them, is probably, well, he's the least experienced. I think he's probably the best equipped to play the type of football that we want to do.
Cold ball.
Yeah. Because he's good enough with his feet, can carry the ball.
Yep.
And also can do the aerial stuff very well.
Yeah.
And is quick. You know.
Quick enough.
Quick, good, very good, and great recovery last night. Tackle on
one
of those things. We think he's absolutely done, and he recovered it brilliantly. I think he's probably naturally. Although I'm not saying he's the best performer out of all those three necessarily. I just mean his skill set is best suited to the possession playing out from the back style thing. I think Will Aimson is basically an old-fashioned hoofer.
Yes,
isn't he? That is now being told you got to keep it on the deck.
Yeah.
You've got to play out. And Caldwell said at half time he wanted to be braver with playing the ball out and stuff. And it did work, but you do have to be brave, don't you? You know, the temptation. And Hartridge just doing it most of all, actually. It's just lump it. And that was a bit. It was a bit.
Well, it came straight back, didn't it?
Well, where's Bowman? You mean it's pointless lumping it to James Scott. Absolutely pointless.
And that's no criticism of him, is it? He's just not that kind of player.
And it's the safe option in that situation. But if you're not being, you have got to be a bit braver. And then second half it sort of started to work. And everyone, it's new. It's a new system to these lot. This is not how Matt Taylor played.
No.
And it's taken a while to get used to it. And I think, given that, and some of the other performances from like young players who haven't got much experience, they're only here to get experience, actually could have been a lot worse.
Oh, certainly.
And Sweeney, as the third of those three, good, very good, capable of playing out, a couple of comedy moments last night where he just kicked it out for a corner, but I think he was kind of given the ball in the wrong position. He's just like playing slightly above his level, isn't it? And actually doing quite a good job of it.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's, probably, yeah.
Well, if that's where the budget's going to be limited, you think like, well, fair enough. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's
if
very
money
good
was no
substitute.
object, you'd have someone else in, wouldn't you? Like about.
Well, you look at that lad from Lincoln that was playing for Portsmouth last night, Paul.
Yeah.
You think, well, crumbs. Yeah, that's what money can buy you. Anyway, yeah, I think that's true, and I think second half, we had a lot more. Well, Rankin had a lot of possession down the wing, and he got into the box a few times. There were some very good chances, particularly for Sweeney and Aimson and Zach Jules.
Yeah, all three of them had headers.
Yeah.
I think all three of them crosses from Reece Cole after he came on. I've got a feeling they might have been.
Maybe not the Aimson one, but yeah.
Okay, right.
Maybe.
Well, he came on and actually did really well, Reece Cole.
Yeah, he did.
By this point, we're already 1-0 down.
Yes.
Goal comes. I mean, we were kind of hanging on in the first half, and you think, we got to half time, that's good. And then things started to improve. But then it's such a shame because Sinisalo had a really good game.
Yep.
And I think he looks very confident. And you can tell that, but after this mistake for the goal that he made, he didn't let it get to him and actually played well afterwards as well. But so the ball goes back to him and he just kind of like doesn't do one thing or the other. He doesn't launch it because he can really launch it, and he doesn't go short to, I think it would have been Sweeney. Like he goes for a kind of chipped ball into the middle of midfield, and then what's his name? That fella Pack.
Oh yeah, Marlon Pack.
Yeah. He just kind of wins it easily.
Plays it to Jack Sparks.
Plays it in Sparks. Sparks actually plays the wrong ball there, but they're centre forward. What's his name?
Bishop.
Bashing the Bishop. He does.
It's not what was happening.
Hartridge didn't bash the Bishop.
Good.
Got turned. So he actually kind of made up for Sparks' kind of not perfect pass and spun Hartridge and scored. Yeah,
and the keeper was already a bit misfooted, wasn't he? Or he
had no chance at that point of saving it. The mistake had already happened, and that was the pass out. But like I said, didn't let it get to him. Other than that, he looked very competent, I thought.
Yeah, and I agree. I think he's a good goalkeeper. And then we had 20 minutes left, and we really piled on. But it ended up being nearly 30 minutes, didn't it? We really piled on the pressure.
We did.
Nonme was on. Sonny Cox got put on.
I mean,
Kyle Taylor comes on.
Kitchen sink at it, didn't he? I mean,
Cole had a good chance.
Vince Harper came on as well.
Yes.
Cole had a good shot, and like I said, again, he looked quite good actually. Not just in his deliveries, which were excellent. Like I said, created at least 2 very good chances from balls into the box. We've got to start putting them away. We've got someone who can get them in the box now. We need to start putting them away. Amoson's should have done better. Did come at him quickly.
I think Amoson's was the hardest.
Sweeney definitely should have done better.
Yeah.
And same with Jules. Like they were on a different day. We could have got a point there.
No, I mean the keeper's
and it would have been a
catching them.
little bit of a smash and grab because Portsmouth probably were worth the 3 points, but it was definitely possible.
Certainly was. And we're going to need to do that stuff, aren't we, from time to time? This year, like, if that's the way we're playing, defend the goal and then break and see what we can get, we're not going to get a lot of chances. Or certainly not the kind of chances where, like, it's at non-base feet.
No.
So we're going to have to put them away.
Exactly. And last night was a perfect example of a time when we were going into that game knowing probably our chances are going to be quite limited in this match. And so we are going to have to take them when they come.
Yep.
And then a great way of doing that against a team, a strong side, is if you've got someone who can put a good... If we can't work the ball up from the back and create opportunities that way, if we're against a strong side, if that's not working, you've got someone who can stick a ball into the box right on somebody's head. Yeah. So, we've got to be able to take those chances. We haven't seen enough in the way of headed goals from defenders over the last few years. We've had various personnel. But it would be handy if they could start doing it.
Cole's looking like he's really getting up to speed because it was obvious straight away he was good with the dead ball.
Yeah.
But I think each game I've seen him, it's been an improvement.
Yeah, I think
in terms of general play.
I think there's a lot in this team of we've got to give him a bit of time, and I think 4 points from the first 3 games isn't too bad at all.
No.
Given that fact, we've got several players in there who have either been playing at a far lower level, in Cole and Harper, not been playing at all because they've been injured, like Kyle Taylor, Tom Carroll, both had a year off.
Yeah. We've
got Rankin and Trevitt who haven't played any men's football, or if they have, it's been like Papa John's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, given that that's true, they all look all right, actually. Do you know what I mean? Like Rankin's is rapid, and his decision making looks a bit not quite there yet. But that's the reason we've got them. They're there to develop those skills. So that's the plan. So if the plan, we can't expect it to be resolved yet. They've only played 3 games.
Well, we're never getting the complete package, are we?
Well,
Chelsea?
we wouldn't get it. Yeah, exactly.
They're not coming on loan to us, are they? Well, so I think there's a lot to be encouraged by. Disappointing to...
The same goes for that lad that they had for Man City. I mean, he looked promising, but he had a couple of chances, and there's one especially on his right foot. We missed the target. He should have scored.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All of that in perspective, you feel like comes mid-September, because Caldwell's done really well at getting them fit.
Yeah,
it feels like fitness levels are good. Feels like he's building the options all the time around the pitch. Still more players coming in that we'll talk about in a minute. I feel like come mid-September, October, actually we could be fine, and we're already we're 10% towards the points tally we need for the season.
Yeah,
so
we're competing, aren't we?
Absolutely,
We are competing, and you look at other teams that have started badly, and you'd be worried. Look at Exeter City B, Burton.
Doesn't look good for them.
I mean, they're all kind of laughing. They're all laughing, going like, we've got that, and they're so...
Who were Burton supporters?
Yeah.
Were they?
I think, yeah.
Wow.
That they were going like, we've like poached all these players off you, and it's like, and now straight away they're like, oh, they're all shit.
I mean, I had a lot of time for some of those players.
No, and they're not shit either, but
No.
I think there's more going on at Burton Albion, I don't know, but anyway, they're rubbish.
They're not bottom, but that's only because Wigan have had points deducted. So they got no points on the board, and they're -6 on their goal difference. So.
Yeah, they scored 1 goal, which is a consolation last night, yeah.
Anyway, that's by the by. So the squad continues to grow for Exeter City.
Yes.
We talked about it Monday, but it's come to fruition.
Yeah, this happened, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not in time to play, obviously I'll be in the squad.
Was he there last night? Didn't see him.
Don't know. I mean,
You'd notice him.
You would definitely notice him, yeah.
Norse god.
He stands out.
He's not Norse. Scandinavian god.
I've never seen anyone look so Scandinavian.
Yeah.
It's not a diss.
No.
Like you were saying before we start recording, he could be a model, couldn't he?
Could be a model.
In the not in the kind of sense of like, I'm not saying he looks like George Clooney, kind of good looking. He looks like he's striking.
Yeah.
You know how they use these kind of striking,
These angular folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign him up.
Maybe he could model for Kyle Taylor's clothing company.
He won't be modelling Exeter City, merchandise, because none of us look like him. And so we'd all think, like, well, we won't look as good as him.
Well, you might just think, like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Anyway, he's come. What's his name? Can we get his name right?
He's like a lovely chap, and I'm not having a go at what he looks like. He looks great.
No, absolutely.
Ilmari Niskanen.
Ilmari Niskanen from Dundee United.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Dundee relegated last year.
Yes.
But a lot of people got a lot of time for him on social media.
Did they? It seemed to be, to me, a bit like Dundee fans were going like, "Oh, he's lovely, but he's not very good." But I'm not at all bothered about that.
Colwell's proved again and again. I mean, that's
general, what everyone says about everyone we ever sign.
Yeah.
So that's what they were saying about Dimitri Mitchell.
That's what they were saying about Stockley when he came from Aberdeen. Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me at all.
So he's a winger.
Yeah, Colwell sort of seemed to suggest he's mostly he's a right wing back.
Oh, right, okay.
Even though he's a left-footed guy. But I think that's what he said. So that's what we needed, because obviously Caprice left and leaving our only kind of right wing back essentially is Dion Rankin.
Yeah.
And like we said, he's developing. He's not someone we need to have more than one player in that position for sure.
Yeah.
So,
and presumably because he's left-footed, he could go the other side if he had to.
Yeah. Versatile, of course. Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to seeing him. I've got a good feeling about him.
And is he mates with
he's a Finnish
Salo?
Yeah, they did their little
did their little thing, didn't they?
Did the little video, the media team of them Sinisalo welcoming him, giving him a little hug.
Should have drawn a line and called it the Finnish Line.
Yeah.
No?
Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Well, they're both Finnish.
Yeah, but what's the finish line?
I don't know, crossing the finish line together.
It feels a little crowbarred in, that.
No, it does not. I dare you.
No?
No.
Maybe we can they're saving that for later on in the season when there actually is a kind of metaphorical finish line.
Crossing the finish line together.
Yeah.
Sure, all right.
Don't worry. I'm sure they're on that.
Sure they are. I saw Scott Palfrey.
Finnish international. No, go ahead. Yeah.
I just saw him playing. He was just leaving the tennis courts on Barton Fields the other day.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Said, get on to him, and he said, get on to me.
There you go.
That's by the by. He was thinking about new ideas about
cronyism.
Yeah, that's what
cronyism
we're involved in there. So he's a Finnish international.
Yeah,
which takes
and so Sinisalo. And I don't know how many appearances he's got, but he made his debut for them in 2020.
So that takes our international count up a bit, doesn't it?
International appearances, 14. So he's played. That's not bad.
Not insignificant.
And they haven't been in any tournaments,
right?
Have they? Were they in the Euros?
No.
And he's got one goal, international goal, against Poland in 3-1.
Take that, Lewandowski. Better than Lewandowski.
I think they lost 5-1. Yeah.
Lewandowski presumably got 5.
He got the one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You can't get 5 without the first one.
So, does that mean that how many do we need to get our...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How many do we need to get our games called off during international breaks?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. 3, I think.
It's 3 people. So, who's
the other?
Assuming that Sinisalo and Niskanen both make the squad.
Yes.
Is there anyone else? Can any of our lads play for Scotland, or Scotland a bit too good for any of them at the minute? Maybe, Aitchison could break his way in, couldn't he? Get a squad.
I've got a feeling there's someone else who's a fringe player for someone else, but now my mind's gone blank. Is there?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Oh, no. No, they're all Scottish, aren't they? None of them are Northern Irish. Don't know. Carry on.
Well, sign one more then, so we can get that.
Sign one more so we can call it.
Otherwise, we haven't got a keeper.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's that. Anyway.
And there's still rumours of Luke Harris from Fulham. He hasn't gone anywhere else yet. Whereas Jay Stansfield yet to go anywhere.
Mm.
But there's some articles floating about that QPR and 3 other Championship teams have all kind of been asking about him. So looking likely that he might get his Championship move, which, you know, as much as I'd like him back at City, probably for him, it's probably better.
If it's between QPR and City, though, QPR are going to be in a right old scrap this year, aren't they? By the looks of it.
Well, not if they sack Ainsworth, which they may well do.
He'd be back at Wickham by Christmas, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Ugh. I can't.
He doesn't want to go and play for him, does he?
That's what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Like, if
But he might choose one of the other 3 teams that are in for him.
Well, yeah, sure, fair enough.
I mean,
Southampton are coming for you. You go for that, then?
He might. I mean, as much he's done his kind of hometown loan thing. I don't begrudge him at all if he doesn't do another one. You know.
No, neither do I.
He
I just feel on a personal level, QPR would be a disappointing move for him.
Big team though, historically, you
big
know,
team.
like, and he's in London as well, and obviously, I guess he lives there, and
Super hoops.
well, West London as well, so
Living it up.
living it up. Jay Stansfield. But anyway, don't worry about him because Luke Harris still on the cards.
Okay, all right. Well, more about this in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. We've got some bad news. We can't sign... What's his name? Luke Harris. Because he looks too much like the other midfielders we've already got.
Yeah, looks like a combination of Carroll, Aitchison, and Trevitt.
Cancelled, mate. Sorry. Can
Not
we get
include-
someone with, like, long hair?
Well, yeah,
Dreadlocks.
a ginger,
Someone from Asia.
a ginger prince.
We just need someone who looks a bit... We need to mix it up a bit.
Yeah, maybe we could get him to dye his hair. That would do the trick.
Oh, like exotic, like pink?
Well, yeah, or bleach it or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Something to think about, Luke, if you want to make the move. That's our...
Shave it.
Those are our terms.
We haven't got any baldies.
We haven't got any boldies. Come on up, you bold heads.
Have we got any at all?
Bit of the Bible for you there. Have we got any boldies?
Yeah.
Well, Sweeney.
Well, Sweeney's got a bit of a bald patch, but he's not exactly a bald guy, is he?
I wish it was our manager, because then the name, obviously, Gary Boldwell.
Yeah, but would he bold well? Because some people look good with a bald head and others don't, do they?
No, it might not bode well for him.
I'm not sure he would bold well.
No, hard to know.
Let me just have a look at him quickly. So
We've seen him before.
Yeah, but I just want to
Raging on the sidelines.
see if I can picture it in my
He didn't get yellow last
my
night, of
mind's
course.
eye.
Well done, Gary. Kept a lid on it, as it were.
Weird. If you Google him, it's just like he doesn't come up. Oh, I've put in.
You put in Gary Boldwell.
No, I've put Gary Caldwell obituary by mistake. Like that's.
Oh, no,
I've
Gary,
obviously
we
clicked on
hardly
that. I'm
knew
just
you.
looking at dead Gary Caldwells online, and there's several.
Morbid.
Um,
Did you enjoy last night when the lino got injured and had to go off? And for a brief second, I thought Nick Hawker was going to have to run the line.
oh, really? Why would Hawker be doing it?
Well, he was there, and I thought, has he got his licence?
Yeah,
Has he got his referee card?
don't reckon he has.
I always enjoy that. I mean, obviously Jimmy Hill being the famous one, but when
Oh, okay, so the Caldwell sort of had like a sort of buzz cut when he's at Wimbledon.
Wigan,
Ooh, sorry, Wigan. I think he would bold well.
good to know. But his brother Stephen, would he bold well?
Who can say? Anyway, he hasn't. He looks like he's not going bald. Doesn't have any.
No, he's full head of hair.
Yeah, and we haven't got any baldies. So get a couple in.
Get a couple
Get
in.
a Gravison sort of style guy.
Nice.
You know, who's that one who played for Everton for ages?
Oh,
Maybe that is Gravison.
you mean Gravison played for Everton, but do you mean John Joe Shelby?
No, he didn't play for Everton. He played for Liverpool.
Oh yeah,
He's
the other one.
different, and he's like
I
alopecia.
think he's got alopecia, yeah.
Duncan Goodhue sort of job.
Yeah.
Do you know how Duncan Goodhue lost all his hair?
I do know this, yeah. Tell us.
He fell out of a tree.
And the shock.
Well, that's what they reckon.
Yeah.
I think there's. Is it true they don't really know too much about why alopecia happens? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyway,
Um,
enough about Duncan Goodhue.
well, talking of brothers and that, it's Carlisle on Saturday. Talking of families, really.
I was going to say, when were we talking about brothers?
Weren't we just talking about brothers?
I was talking about bald.
I was talking about
bald
Stephen
people.
Boldwell.
Who's his famous bald brothers?
Two famous well, the Mitchell brothers, of course.
Yeah, of course. There you go. They're the most famous bald brothers of all.
Well, anyway, it's
Dimitri
Carlisle.
and yeah. Carlisle at home. Away.
Away.
Brunton Park.
Up there again.
Is that
Lord.
right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever got a stadium name right.
Very good.
Ah,
Yeah,
quite pleased with that.
Carlisle. Coldwell goes to Carlisle for the longest trip of the year, of course. I mean, nice to get it out of the way when it's, sunny, innit?
Is it the longest trip currently in the EFL?
Yeah, probably. No,
Usually it's Plymouth to Carlisle, isn't it? But obviously they're in the
unless
champ.
it's Argyle to Sunderland,
Oh yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Hard
Long
to
way.
say.
It's a long way anyway.
It's a long old poke, as they say. Came up last year through the playoffs, won it on penalties. Simpson's their manager, Paul Simpson. This is a fact I found out about him earlier. Well known that his son is a coach at Stockport, who they beat in the playoffs.
Yep.
By the name of, I forget. But his other son, this is remarkable, talk about a high-achieving family, is an actor, and he's currently starring in the Book of Mormon.
Wow.
Good going, isn't it?
That's
boys.
talented family.
Dom Simpson is the actor, and Jake Simpson is the coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
High achievers then.
High achievers. But Paul Simpson, back at Carlisle, this is the second time he's brought them up out of League Two, with about 10 years in between. I think Colwell must know him from... Would he know him from Newcastle? Oh no, Colwell was there recently, wasn't he, Newcastle?
I don't know. You're asking me questions that I've no way of knowing.
Anywho, they're the newly promoted team. We've played them so many times in the last few years.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're just one of the teams we play, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times we've talked about them since we've been doing this podcast alone. Plenty. And we spent at least one of those years not in the same division as them.
Yeah. But it's a winnable game.
Yeah, so they've started... I think they've got 1 point so far.
Okay.
They lost on the opening day to Oxford away, and they've drew at home on Tuesday, last night, against Wigan at home. So they've had 2 home games in a row, so they're a bit similar to us, whereas the travels are, lots of long travels.
Yeah.
But they won't have had any of that this week, but it'll be tough, won't it? Because it all will be tough. But I think we've seen enough to think that I'm optimistic that we can. I'm looking for a win here. I think we can win this.
Nombe presumably back starting again.
Yeah, based on the start we've had, I think we could win. And I'm thinking this is a good opportunity to pick up some points.
Absolutely.
We've got basically a full strength side. Harry Kite is the only one currently really missing, isn't he?
I wonder if we'll see. It's that striker, isn't it? For me, it's the striker we're missing currently. I think everywhere else we could just about manage.
Yeah, we do need to strengthen the attack.
Either an alternative to Nombe or
Cox obviously has come on and looked good both games that he's come on. I just think we need another one as well. I just think we do.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe a slightly different type of player. I mean, I don't know if you go for maybe you get like a kind of, I don't know how Colbert wants to go for it. I mean, really, it's goals we want, isn't it? So, and Harris could be that player.
Yes.
A lot of goals for Fulham's kind of youth side.
Okay.
Or do you want a big man? I don't think you do.
I don't think you do.
I don't think Colwell wants to resort to that. I think they're doing that kind of in spite of him. Colwell seems to want to just keep playing on the ground no matter what.
I suppose what you really want then is someone really quick up in the centre, isn't it?
Yeah, someone's going to get in the box and get on the end of things and cause problems in the penalty area, I mean, I'm not really sure we've got anyone who really does that.
No, that's right.
I would like to see that a kind of like a goal-scoring striker.
There's no rumours. I haven't heard anything about anyone in particular looking likely. But then he's surprised us with almost all of these moves. I mean, who'd have thought it that us all on wittering away on this and everyone else being a genius on social media. Who'd have thought we didn't have an insight into who we were going to sign next? But there we are.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we don't know anyone. We couldn't be further from ITK.
No. ITK.
Honestly, we haven't. In case you're thinking, where do they get all their insight from? Just natural.
Just brains.
Don't know anyone.
We don't want to know anyone.
No, well, I don't think anyone particularly wants to know us either, do they?
No. Scott Palfrey was trying to talk to me and I ran off.
Was he?
Well, I mean, I was out for a run, it's worth saying that.
Right, yeah. Was he trying to kind of...
He was trying to give me the inside scoop.
Was he?
Bad luck, Scott. You won't get me that easily.
I don't know. Has he got any info? Probably. No, fair enough. He probably does.
Well, he's
know,
taking the
but-
photos of them, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Presumably Niskanen's photo wasn't being taken yesterday because they were all at Portsmouth. So he might have a day or two's heads up, mightn't he?
Maybe.
But I don't expect they're asking him like, this guy looks good in photos. Should we sign him?
No.
Answer yes.
Doubt it. He'll stand out, won't he? Because he's.
Yeah. He looks a bit like
He couldn't look
the
any
elf
less
from
like.
Lord of the Rings. Doesn't he?
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Lord of the Rings?
No.
You've never seen Lord of the Rings?
We've talked about this before. That's not my sort of thing.
Doesn't matter.
What? A million hours long.
Yeah. I think it's about 9 hours long.
It's just boring. It's boring shit. I've seen like the last 20 minutes of the last one where they have a big fight.
What's boring about
That's
a
all I need
troll
to see.
hoofing someone to Kingdom Come? Nothing.
I think it's quite. I think people generally sort of agree on that it's boring, don't they?
I don't think so.
I think
Wildly
it is.
excited.
Not
by it.
my sort of style, really. Fantasy like that.
No. You're watching a film with a shadow moving across a room and someone smoking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that, and real life stuff
Yeah.
like The Bill.
Fair enough.
Why watch Lord of the Rings when you could watch the Bill?
I mean, it is a valid question.
Should we do a poll?
Okay, let us know. Are you
Yeah, this is what we want you to do. Get in touch and just don't worry about saying anything else. Just send us a message.
one word?
bigbankpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or on the soch. Just either Lord of the Rings, shorten it to LOTR if you like, or The Bill.
No, I'd like either The Ring or The Bill.
No, The Ring that's a different film altogether.
The Rings.
Lord of the Rings or The Bill, which is better? Let's put this to bed once and for all. Which is better?
All right.
Lord of the Rings or The
I
Bill?
think it's pretty clear which camps we're in here. So, I'm
Yeah.
not saying this is a popularity contest, but do vote for the person you like.
Vote
more.
with your head, not with who you prefer out of John and I.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Come
And
on.
we'll feedback. We'll let everyone know.
We'll count up the votes. We got 60 odd entries into our predictions competition, so
Yeah.
I'd like at least 30 responses to this question.
Should I start a separate thing on XWeb? Just an actual poll?
Would that go down well there?
Seems not.
No. Let's
I mean,
just
it might
keep it
be.
to people that have heard
They're
this.
good people. Embrace our nonsense.
Let's just keep it to, let's not start a whole new thing on there.
All right.
Lord
All
of the Rings or The Bill.
Done. Sorted.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week after it's no, I'm a week ahead of myself. It's Carlisle, isn't it? So we'll be back after the game Saturday,
Yeah.
Monday or something like that. Then it's Reading and Stevenage in the Cup. It's all exciting times.
All back on, isn't it?
It's all back on. Except the supply line for the replica shirts, which is...
Well, also people are upset about the pasty situation, aren't they, as well?
People are upset about that. That's not back on.
Not enough pasties, as usual.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do about that, really. Bring your own pasty.
I mean, buy more pasties would be...
Of the club. Yeah,
club,
yeah.
I'm no business guru. I'm no
Yeah,
Lord
aren't they
Sugar.
worried about them going to waste or something?
I'm more of a Lord Ring.
Surely they can do the sort of data analysis, can't they? And sort of
What, like put
Well-
those weird bra things on the people selling the pasties?
yeah,
Sports Pro, or whatever it's called. And then they'd know how many they'd sold. And
yeah, or just look it up on the till.
oh.
I mean, you must know we sold this many last week.
We're getting 7,500 people to the games. Therefore,
Get some more pasties in.
yeah.
Anyway, this isn't important.
You could do it like the theatre where we pre-order for half time.
Yeah, you can do that at the theatre, can't you? And then
Yeah.
they kind of
Put it all out on the bar.
You go out in the room. You go out into the little room and find your drinks with your name on it.
I'm not saying that theatre goers are classier than football supporters, but I don't know if it would work quite as well.
Well, that's why they call St James Park the Theatre of Dreams, because it's a very similar
That is why they call it that.
sort of place.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, get the pasties on. I like a pasty. I need a pasty. So does
You don't
everyone
even.
else.
You hardly ever even buy one, so I don't know what you're going on about.
I occasionally buy one.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like I said, if they use the screen properly, they could tell us how many pasties are available. They could do a pointless style, dropping down.
Oh, I'd like
chart
that. Yeah,
And
with
point
the
us in
with the sound effect.
with the sound effect.
Yeah,
but no one's pleased when you get to 0 in this game.
No, you boo then.
Boo.
Yeah.
We want it to stop at like 5. So it's not food waste.
Yeah, just enough for the staff to take one home.
Yeah. Something to think about, Nick Hawker.
Yeah, Nick, come on.
Come on, Nick. Stop thinking about your linesman's career.
This isn't your department. I don't know what is.
Get us some pasties. In pasties we trust.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you later.